There comes a phase in this journey where things stop feeling new and start feeling real, where the excitement of beginning slowly transforms into the responsibility of continuing. And this is where the true nature of YouTube reveals itself, not as a platform of instant success, but as a system that quietly tests how long you can stay consistent without external validation. And as you sit down to create your next videos, you begin to notice that the initial adrenaline is gone, replaced by a deeper, more demanding question. Can you keep going even when no one is watching, even when growth feels invisible, even when results don't match your effort? And this question doesn't come with an easy answer, because it challenges not your skills, but your mindset. At this stage, your workflow starts to evolve, not perfectly, not smoothly, but noticeably, because now you're no longer figuring out everything from scratch. You've already experienced recording, editing, uploading, and analyzing, and while you're still improving, there's a certain familiarity that begins to develop, and that familiarity is important because it reduces friction. It makes starting the next video slightly easier than the last, and in a system where consistency is key, reducing friction is one of the most powerful advantages you can build. And as you move through this process repeatedly, something subtle but significant begins to happen. You start recognizing your own patterns, your strengths, your weaknesses, the parts of creation you enjoy and the parts you avoid. And this self-awareness becomes a tool because once you understand your tendencies, you can adjust your process to work with them instead of against them, making your workflow more efficient, more sustainable, and less dependent on motivation. But even with this progress, there's still a challenge that quietly persists, one that every creator faces at some point, the comparison trap. Because as you continue creating, you also continue watching others, and it becomes almost impossible not to compare your early-stage progress with someone else's highlight reel. And this comparison, if left unchecked, can distort your perception, making you feel like you're falling behind when in reality, you're just at a different stage. And understanding this difference is crucial because comparison doesn't improve your content, it only distracts you from your own path. So you begin shifting your focus inward again, analyzing your own videos more deeply, not just in terms of analytics, but in terms of quality, clarity, and engagement, asking yourself what you can improve in your next upload, how you can make your content more structured, more engaging, more valuable. And this mindset of continuous improvement becomes your greatest asset because it ensures that each video you create is slightly better than the last. And this is also the phase where you start paying closer attention to details that once seemed minor, your audio clarity, your pacing, your editing style, your transitions. Because you begin to understand that on YouTube, small improvements compound over time. And while one video may not show dramatic results, a series of improved videos creates momentum, and that momentum is what eventually leads to growth. At the same time, your understanding of the platform deepens because you're no longer just reacting to what happens, you're anticipating it. You start predicting how your video might perform based on its title, thumbnail, and structure. And while these predictions are not always accurate, they sharpen your instincts, making you more strategic with each decision you make. But perhaps the most important change during this phase is internal, because you begin developing resilience, the ability to continue despite slow progress, despite uncertainty, despite moments of doubt. And this resilience is what separates those who stay from those who leave. Because on a platform like YouTube, talent can attract attention, but resilience sustains growth. And as you continue creating, uploading, analyzing, and improving, you begin to notice something that wasn't visible before. Small signs of progress, subtle increases in views, slightly better retention, occasional engagement. And while these changes may seem minor, they are evidence that your efforts are working, that your consistency is building something, even if it's not immediately obvious. By the time you reach this point, your journey has already transformed in ways you didn't expect. Because what started as a simple idea has become a process, a routine, a system that you are actively building and refining. And while you may still feel like a beginner, you are no longer at the starting line. You are moving forward, step by step, learning, adapting, and slowly becoming the kind of creator who doesn't just start, but continues. And in a system where most people quit early, that alone gives you an advantage that cannot be easily replaced.